Hello and welcome to another video. As a lot of people who know me will be able to tell you, I'm a big horror fan, whether it be books, movies, music, artwork, memorabilia or anything like that. And I pick up quite a lot of horror stuff, so what I thought I would start doing is a monthly horror pickups video showing the stuff that I've got that month. Now obviously there are going to be months where I don't really get anything, but December was a big month for me in terms of the amount of stuff I got, so I wanted to show off all of the stuff that I got in December, and hopefully going forward maybe I'll pick up some cool stuff in January and you'll see all of that stuff. If I only get like one or two things, I'll probably just put them into the following month's video or something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet, but let's start off with what I got in December. So I'm going to start off with the movies first. Now all of these I picked up in like one single transaction in CEX, and these are all kind of like bare bones cheap, £1–2 each. I mean, I think they've all got the price stickers on so you can see exactly how much they cost, but most of these I haven't watched. In fact, I don't think I've watched any of these, but you know, they were cheap, thought I'd just pick them up. So this is The Last Showing. It's Robert Englund film, £1 for a Blu-ray. You know, I'm not gonna really pass up on that. It's got the fella from Game of Thrones on the back, who played I don't remember the guy's name, but you can see him right there. A Night in the Woods on DVD. The rest of these are all DVDs. That was the only Blu-ray that I got. This looks cheap as hell, but you know, maybe it'll be decent. You never know with these kind of things, because a lot of times if a film's good you will have heard of it, but there are also some hidden gems as well that aren't really all that popular, but there is a lot of crap out there as well. The Roost, that's that one. It's got a really cool cover. I really like that. That's a Fright Fest Presents film, and it looks pretty decent from the back. Pretty nasty looking fella right there. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get the glare off most of these, unfortunately. The Woman, which is quite a well-known name, quite a well-known film. I've never got around to this, and it comes in like a nice slipcase as well. But it's something that I do want to take a look at, definitely. Deep in the Woods. Now, despite the fact that the cover looks like it's ripped off of I Know What You Did Last Summer, which isn't a good thing, this is a film by Tartan Terror, and Tartan do tend to have pretty good selection when it comes to films. So just based on the cover I wouldn't have picked this up, but the fact that it was Tartan, I decided to give it a go. This one, another one with a pretty interesting cover. It's a British horror film, which you don't see a huge amount of. It's called Panic Button, and yeah, I just really like that artwork on the front. Again, I have not heard of that Cine Britannia company, so I don't know if they're any good or not. But it is what it is. If it's no good, I can spend like a couple pound on it, £1.50. The Taking, which is a terrible title. Not the best looking cover. If you put your monster ghost thing on the cover, it's usually going to give away a lot of shit. So, but the back looks pretty decent. I mean, a lot of these are kind of like impulse buys. A lot of it's down to the artwork. A lot of it's down to kind of like the synopsis on the back. That one definitely wasn't on the cover, I can tell you that. Tape 407. Now this company, After Dark, they do tend to like release really budget films which aren't amazing, but this was only 50p, so I thought, why not give it a go. I've got a few of the other ones. I mean, like I said, they do tend to be low budget stuff. There are a couple which have been really good, and a couple of them have been like really, really terrible. The last one I got is another one with a slipcase. What Really Frightens You by 88 Films. Now that I did pick up based on the cover, because that is a really cool cover. It's always kind of like a bit of a giveaway if there are no screenshots on the back of the film. And what I actually found out is that this film I actually already have on Blu-ray, but the reason I didn't know that is because it's an extra feature on one of 88 Films Slasher Classics Collections movies. I don't remember exactly which movie it's on. It might be Slasher University. I think that's the one it's on. But it's kind of like an extra feature on one of those discs. So I do actually have it on Blu-ray. And having had a quick look at it, it looks really, really budget as fuck. Like shot on video, never seen cinema release, kind of like budget with really crappy actors. But which is probably why you're not seeing screenshots on the back of that. So that particular one, despite the fact that I spent like more on that than any of the other films in this pile, unfortunately I do already have. But that is a really cool cover though. So that'll probably be sold on. Okay, that was the DVDs and the Blu-ray. I'm going to move on to the books that I got from charity shops, because I got quite a few books from charity shops this year. This month, sorry, or rather last month, because I'm filming this in January. But let's start. These weren't all from the same shop. I picked these up from various shops. So you have Dark Delicacies. I do like anthology collections because you get quite a lot of variety in the books, and you can see all the authors that are on there. There's Clive Barker, Ray Bradbury, F. Paul Wilson, Whitley Strieber. So all like decent kind of like writers, and there's a good amount of stories in there. This is like 350 pages long, so that's quite good. This I picked up based on nothing more than the fact that it just looks like a really cute book. Printer's Devil Court by Susan Hill, and it's hardback, and it's just small and looks really cute. And I picked this up for like £1, I think. So yeah, I've not heard of Susan Hill, but looking on Amazon, her books I've reviewed quite well. So that's good. This is a book, Poverty Bright Lost Souls, which I actually read as a kid, and this is one of the first horror novels that I wrote. That I didn't write it. That I read by someone other than Stephen King or Clive Barker, because I was like majorly into Stephen King, Clive Barker when I was growing up. So that's all I read, and this is the first one that I read by someone, not by someone who isn't one of those two, rather. And I remember really enjoying it. I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember really enjoying it, and God knows where that copy of that book has gone since then. But that was cheap, so I thought I'd pick that up. Another anthology. I'm pretty sure this, judging from the cover, this is kind of like aimed towards teenagers by the looks of it, because that's just terrible cover, and the fact that it says on the back, guaranteed to give you goosebumps. It's quite obvious what your target audience for that book is, but at the end of the day, it's a book of horror stories, which some of which I may have in other anthologies, compilations, but you know, there's bound to be a few in there that I don't. This one is Mammoth Book of Slasher Movies. Now this isn't a fiction book, this is a book of reviews, and as you can see, that there's hundreds and hundreds of kind of like slasher movie reviews, information about each one. I'm not sure why it's just saw Dracula there. That's certainly not a slasher film. Cannibal Holocaust isn't really either. Neither is Battle Royale. I'm guessing this is kind of like a book of horror films more than a book of slasher movies. But it's nice to have as like a little reference guide. I mean, I know you've got everything on the internet nowadays, and you can check stuff up like straight away. But it's nice to have like a little book with a bunch of reviews in that you can just kind of like flick through and see if there's any classics that you might have missed. Now this one, The Sleep Room by F.R. Tallis, I do have one of his other books called The Ghost Hunters. I think it's called The Ghost Hunters, which I have to admit I've never read, but again, this is a guy that's kind of like reviewed quite well, so I saw that and I thought I'd add that to the collection. And the last one, Dinar Kunt's Hideaway. That's a hardback book, and it was only $150, and I don't have much by Dinar Kunt. I do have a couple of his Frankenstein books, but that's it. So I've now got one of his hardback books. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that I like, but maybe I will. So I'll give it a go. Okay, now on to another collection of books that I got. Now I got all of these books from a seller on eBay, and they had 2 lots of horror books up, and I bid on both, won both. So I'll show you what I've got. They are kind of like vintage paperback books. I love vintage paperback books for the covers more than anything. I'll show you which ones I've got on the spines there. And there's nothing better to me than kind of like a really well-read book, you know. And you can tell these have been well read. They've got creases, they've got kind of like scuffing on the edges, and it just it adds a bit of character to the book as well, which is something that I quite like. I'd rather have like a paperback that's clearly been well read than like a brand new hardback book of that same title sitting on the shelf, because it just has more character to me. So I'll show you what I've got. These are all vintage. These are going back to like 60s, 70s. I don't think there's anything here past 70s. I'm not entirely sure. But first we've got this is the oldest book here, as you can probably tell. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. It's just a selection of stories that he selected that, according to the cover, the stories that they wouldn't let him do on TV, because he did have a TV show called Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which had kind of like a different. It was essentially like an anthology horror series, and there was like a different story each week. But that is like the official tie-in book for that. And we've got a second volume of that as well. Stories Won't Let Me Do on TV Part 2, and that I love that cover. That is an awesome cover. I say every book here is an anthology book. We have First Pan Book of Horror Stories. Now this is like quite a famous anthology series, the Pan Book of Horror Stories, and there are dozens of volumes. I think they go up to the 20s. I don't think I've seen them go higher than that, so I'm not sure exactly how many I've got, but I always pick them up when I see them. So I've got the first, I've got the second, always got awesome covers as well. Third, fourth, no, that's fifth, sorry, I don't have the fourth. That is the 8th, and the 10th, 12th, 14th. There were actually 2 of the 14th in the lot that I got, so I put one of them on eBay. 16th, all edited by the same guy as well, and that is all the Pan books that I've got right there. The rest of them, I'm sorry, I've got something on the desk there that I keep knocking over because I'm an idiot. This is the second Ghost book, edited by Lady Cynthia Asquith. This is from Pan again, but it's a different series to the Pan Book of Horror. The third Ghost book by Cynthia Asquith. Beyond the Curtain of Dark. I really like the cover of that. Again, that's another collection there. That is a really nice cover. the 10th Fontana book of horror stories with Bela Lugosi on the front there. I think, at least I think that's meant to be Bela Lugosi, because Fontana did their own collection of horror stories as well when they saw how well the Pan one was doing. And you've got the 11th Fontana book of Great Horror Stories there as well. Yeah, that was all the books that I got from that particular eBay sale. I actually got some from Amazon as well. I've not got them in front of me right now because I actually completely forgot about them, so I will splice that in now and you'll be able to see what I got from Amazon as well. Okay, so I got 4 books from Amazon. They had a sale on Wordsworth edition horror books. These are all in the same series, Tales of the Mystery and Supernatural. Wordsworth do like quite a few books, like a couple dozen books in this particular series, and I picked up a few of them. You've got Ghost Stories of Henry James. I do have quite a lot of Henry James stories in anthologies and stuff like that, but this is kind of like quite a big collection of them. I don't think it's all of them, but it's quite a big collection of them. The Drug and Other Stories by Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was quite a controversial figure. He practiced supposed black magic. He was very into the occult, and he also did like quite a lot of horror and poetry fiction, and a lot of it is all included in that book. I've never read anything that is written, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go. This particular one I've been after for a while, The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. Now, H.P. Lovecraft drew a lot of influence from this book, and apparently he's kind of like tied his own mythos, his own Cthulhu mythos into the stuff in this book, and it's meant to be like a really unsettling bunch of stories. It is a collection of stories that are all loosely related, and it's famous, I think, more for H.P. Lovecraft's love of it than for anything else, and I'm really looking forward to giving that one a go. This last one, Night Terrors: The Ghost Stories of E.F. Benson. Now, I actually picked up an audiobook of stories by E.F. Benson, read by Mark Gatiss, and I really loved a lot of the stories in the book, so I thought I'd pick up this, which, as far as I'm aware, contains the entire lot of them, which is a lot more than I've got in the audiobook, so that I can read through a few more of the stories and see if I like those as well. So yeah, that was everything that I got from Amazon horror related this month. Okay, and last but not least, 2 very special items. Now, I have quite a lot of posters, but I just don't have like the time or money to really get a lot of them framed. So for Christmas this year, my mum got me like a couple of my posters framed, a couple of horror themed ones. So let's have a look at which ones I got. First one, really nice artwork picture of Alien there, with a facehugger bursting out of an egg. I really like that design. I actually have that on a t-shirt as well. That is a really nice poster design there. And the second one, if I can put that down somewhere, I am a big Resident Evil fan, and this is kind of like Resident Evil done in the style of a 60s pulp fiction novel. Terror at the Mansion, they call it there, and that is just it's an unusual piece of artwork. I mean, it's not official or anything like that, but I love the style of it. You can tell straight away that it's Resident Evil just because of the design on Jill there and Terror at the Mansion. So that is really nice. I like that a lot. And that was all the horror pickups that I got for December. Now, I don't usually get that much each month. I mean, December was like a really good month for me, and it kind of helped that I had a week off work in December and I was able to go around all the charity shops and and go around and pick up a load of really cool stuff. But hopefully the coming months will be the same. I love picking up new stuff, and what I do get I'll put in a video for you and show you what I've got. So if you enjoyed this video, please click like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.